Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today I have something that has been highly requested the past 24 hours from a lot of you, and that is all of this OnlyFans news and the fact that OnlyFans is banning explicit content starting on October 1st. So I'm going to go through some articles and share this with you if you haven't heard about it already, just to make sure we're all on the same page. And then I'm going to give some of my takes, what I think about the future of people on this app, and just some different directions that things are going to move into. So let's get started. OnlyFans to bar sexually explicit videos starting in October. So it says, OnlyFans is getting out of the pornography business. Starting in October, the company will prohibit creators from posting material with sexually explicit conduct on its website, which many sex workers use to sell fans explicit content. They'll still be allowed to put up nude photos and videos provided that they're consistent with OnlyFans policy, the company said Thursday. So I've seen a lot of people asking what is the policy, and it seems to be that as long as there are no sexual acts happening, then it's okay to post. So basically, I really don't think this is going to be as dramatic of a change as people are saying it is, because most of the users on OnlyFans are just girls posting lingerie photos or nude photos or bikini photos, things like that will probably still be allowed within the guidelines. So I think there might be a shift in the content that people are posting, but ultimately, I don't think it's really going to be as dramatic of a change as everyone seems to be talking about here on YouTube. I saw Kevin Samuels post that winter is coming, and that was the big main post about it, but I just really don't think that this is going to be, again, like I said, as dramatic or drastic of a change as people are thinking. Because when you actually look into it, it just really says that they're cutting out the pornography, which, let's be honest, people can get in a million other places on the internet. So I'm sure that the people who are exclusive on OnlyFans specifically for this type of content are just going to shift onto another platform, and all these other platforms are going to pop up, which actually there was just some news released about one an hour ago that I'm going to talk about here in a bit. But I'm going to read through the rest of this article for all of you. So it says, the popularity of the social media service exploded during the pandemic as sex workers, musicians, and online influencers used it to charge fans for exclusive access to photos, videos, and other material. OnlyFans has attracted more than 130 million users. Until I read this, I had absolutely no idea that that was the case. That is way more people than I had originally thought. However, again, I'm not sure what the percentage is of people who are actually not going to be able to continue the content that they're posting at the moment, because I think it's a smaller group that is posting the pornography and sexually explicit content. That popularity also brought with it additional scrutiny, and OnlyFans is positioning itself more as a forum for musicians, fitness instructors, and chefs rather than sex workers. While many of its most popular creators post videos of themselves engaging in sexual behavior, several mainstream celebrities like Bella Thorne, Cardi B, and Tyga have also set up accounts. This is interesting because when I think of OnlyFans, the first thing I think of is porn or sex or nudity. I don't even think about the other creators on the app. I don't know of anyone that does that. If you guys are subscribed to anyone on there that does something besides explicit content or nudes or lingerie or whatever it is, please let me know, because in my head, just being totally transparent, whenever I think of OnlyFans, I hear the word OnlyFans, I hear someone say they do OnlyFans, my first thought is nude photos, explicit photos, and things along those lines. So I feel like even though they're trying to shift away from that, that kind of stigma is always going to be there, and I think it's really going to hinder new creators from getting on the app. Like me, for example, if I wanted to start an OnlyFans to post cooking videos, I wouldn't. I would just do it on something else because of that stigma that's already around the OnlyFans community and the fact that it's known more predominantly for explicit content. It's very hard to stray away from that or move away from that area of content once you've already gotten yourself there. So now it goes into why they're doing this. So it says the changes are needed because of mounting pressure from banking partners and payment providers, according to the company. OnlyFans is trying to raise money from outside investors at a valuation of more than $1 billion. And the fact that they are predominantly explicit content and nudity and sexual content is holding investors back from investing into their business, and it's making it harder for their business to grow, which is why they're trying to shift away from that. In order to ensure the long-term sustainability of our platform and continue to host an inclusive community of creators and fans, we must evolve our content guidelines, OnlyFans says. The company is run by its founder Tim Stokely and owned by Leonid Radvinsky, an internet entrepreneur. The company has been praised for giving sex workers a safer place to do their jobs, but sex work still has a stigma. The company handled more than $2 billion in sales last year and is on pace to generate more than double that this year. It keeps 20% of that figure. So that is one thing I will say about OnlyFans. I did an entire video already about OnlyFans and kind of the pros and cons about it, looking at both sides. And one of the pros that I do see is that it is a safer place for women who are already doing this type of work to engage in this type of work. They get to keep more of their income than they would if they were on a different platform, and it can also be a safer place because it's not in person and it's online. However, while there is a pro in that aspect, I think there are many negatives that come along with it, and I talked all about it in the video that I already did. So definitely be sure to check that out if you haven't already, if you want to see my deep dive into the pros and cons of OnlyFans and really sex work in general, especially online. OnlyFans said it will provide more guidance on its new policy at a later date. The news disappointed some of the sex workers who've come to rely on OnlyFans. Sylphie, a 30-year-old from Dallas who declined to provide her real name, began posting to OnlyFans a few years ago and relies on the site to pay her bills. She wrote a few blogs for the company in its early days and even spoke with Stokely, but over the past year, she noticed the company shifting its focus away from sex work and more towards other types of online creators, a similar move at the company Patreon. Earlier this year, OnlyFans introduced a new app that features many of its top creators but does not include any nudity. I've never even heard of this app that they're talking about. If you look at all the promos, they don't promote us at all, Sylphie said. I noticed a huge drop in them promoting people who did sex work. I can see both sides for sure, but ultimately, when you're using someone else's platform for your business, you know, it's not your choice. And it's the same thing with me on YouTube. If YouTube decided we're getting rid of all dating content, well, I would be screwed and I would have to figure something else out. And that's why I think it's so important when you're in this type of work to understand that it is very temporary, okay? Especially with OnlyFans and sex work. And all of the girls that deny this are only setting themselves up for a disaster. I think it's always very important to have a plan B and to have some other things going for you in case something doesn't work out. And unfortunately, I don't think that's the case for many of the girls that are now going to find themselves jobless or having to scramble to figure out something else to do because they put all their eggs in one basket. They thought this was going to be something they could do until they were 75. I've heard many girls say that, unfortunately, in interviews, and that is just not the case. So I think there's going to be a shift in the content that people are posting on OnlyFans, but I definitely don't think it's going to be this big dramatic change, like I said, that everyone is talking about, because people will always find a way to do it. They will either post different content that, let's be honest, guys will still pay for and other people will still pay for, or they will find a different platform, which leads me into something that I just saw right before I filmed this video to make sure that I was getting the latest news on this. And apparently, this article from Forbes was posted 1 hour ago, and it says, Tyga deletes OnlyFans account to launch competitor Myystar. It legitimately took less than 24 hours for someone else to come up with a new platform, and I could have seen this coming from a mile away. I knew this would happen, and that is why everyone who is saying this is going to be some big, great thing is mistaken, because there will always be a platform for this. Someone will always figure out a way to make it happen, whether it's legally or illegally. People will always find a way to do things, so it really doesn't matter, and people will continue to do them. So I'm going to read through this one, and it says, just 24 hours after OnlyFans announced that it will ban sexually explicit content, Tyga, one of its most popular creators, has deleted his account to launch his own content platform as a competitor. The rapper's subscription-based content service called myystar will allow sexually explicit videos for sex workers and celebrities alike. Set to debut in October, ironically in October, the month that OnlyFans ends, myystar will take a 10% cut from creators' earnings, half of OnlyFans' cut. So OnlyFans took 20 and myystar will only take 10. So it automatically seems a lot more appealing, and I'm sure will shift the attention and focus of all of the people trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. I know how many people make a lot of money on OnlyFans, and that's where most of their revenue is at, Tyga exclusively told Forbes. I want to give those people hope. Tyga partnered with Forbes 30 Under 30 art and style alum Ryder Ripps, who has worked on branding for Travis Scott's Cactus Jack and Kanye West creative agency Donda, to design myystar. Beyond explicit photos and videos, Tyga says the platform will house content from podcasters, comedians, athletes, and musicians. Creators will also be able to sell their own NFTs. Though Tyga wouldn't disclose his OnlyFans earnings, he confirmed that he's made several million with his $20 a month subscriptions. OnlyFans reported in a statement sent to Axios, is that how you pronounce that? Yesterday, that its 2 million creators have made more than $5 billion on the platform. Tyga was reportedly the 4th top earner on OnlyFans before he left, according to Influencer Marketing Hub, which compiles data from various sources. According to their numbers, which Forbes could not verify, he has earned approximately $8 million to date, behind only ex-girlfriend Blac Chyna, singer-actress Bella Thorne, and rap star Cardi B. Tyga joined the site in September as an experiment, and 3 months later launched his OnlyFans talent management company, 2 Raw, which now has more than 24 clients. Along with that roster, Tyga says he will be recruiting MyYstar talent on an invite-only basis to start. With the right picks, he could strike the same intrigue that brought him and 130 million users to OnlyFans in the first place. So, again, it was only a matter of time, less than 24 hours to be exact, until someone came up with something else, and I think that's going to continue to happen as well. And there's a ton of articles coming out now saying that OnlyFans' ban on sexually explicit content will endanger lives, says U.S. sex workers. They are taking away our safe spaces, says Jane, an activist and OnlyFans creator who asked to be identified only by her first name. Nobody wants to protect us. This change will put workers on the street who could otherwise afford rent. It will starve the children of sex workers who could otherwise afford to feed them, and it will force workers currently working remotely offline into riskier street-based sex work. But will it though? You don't have to do that. It's a choice, right? I know some people, aren't as fortunate or lucky and they have to figure out things that they can do, but there are a ton of jobs right now. So many people are quitting their jobs. So the reality is that if you didn't want to do that, you really don't have to. There are a ton of other options, and this is why it's so important to develop some sort of skill set that doesn't just rely on your body or your physical appearance, right? Because it's not going to last forever, and eventually I think everyone that does this type of work is faced with the reality that, okay, maybe my time is up and I need to either save my money and invest so that I can stop working, or figure out something else to do for work, because this is no longer serving me the way that it used to. So I think it's going to be a harsh reality for a lot of people, but I hope that some people use this as a step in the right direction. It is not my place to say what people should or should not be doing. That's your choice. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. Again, I really don't think there's going to be a huge drastic change, but when things like this happen, it makes you think about, your job security and the future of the platform that you're on. So even if, OnlyFans starts by banning sexually explicit content, what if they go down the road of banning all content like that? What if no one's allowed to post nudes or lingerie photos or anything sexual? It really just makes you think about that. So it's just something to keep in mind. Let me know what you guys think down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, what you think the future is of this for the girls and the guys involved. Would just love to hear all of your opinions on this hot topic. So if you liked this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.